Kanuka, Kanuka.
Did not have that on my bingo card. It's happening again.
We went for round 3. I just watched it right before the Zoom let me enter the chat. I was like, I gotta get like in a happy mood because
Oh,
2 hours ago I went sledding with Gavin on an inner tube, and I stood in front of this pond to stop him from like going out on the pond and having a reincarnation of It's a Wonderful Life. He loses his hearing in his left ear, and so he would slide down super fast, and I would kind of like do the tackle dummy and
yeah.
going way out on the pond. And the last hit, I swear he cracked my rib, and I've just been like limping around ever since. Like, I need a shot of comedy, so I dialed up that Kanuka SNL skit.
Word is I'm bringing home the bacon. Word is they don't see what it take to make it, but the word on the street side make it look easy. No flattering, cool, way too easy. Word on the street is.
If you kids don't know is that the official name of the skit?
No, what is it called?
Is it Japanese game show?
Yeah, it's something like general like
kids. If you don't know what we're talking about, there's a good chance you don't.
It's Japanese game show, Saturday Night Live, Chris Farley.
Yes, go look up Japanese game show, Saturday Night Live, Chris Farley, and you will be treated to things like Kanuka Kanuka and Kwaki Serpi Niku.
Oh, he's like, correct. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, Farley was the best.
Oh, that he was. You know, that was such a, when he passed away, it was such a big deal that my dad, I don't know how my dad found out to this day. My dad called me to tell me he had died before the story moved on the AP wire. I was at work at the Journal-Star.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Hey, buddy, I got a tough one for you. Chris Farley died." And I was just like, "What? No." And
I remember go ahead.
And then it moved on the wire like 2 minutes later. And I was like, "Oh, okay. Wow. This is, yeah."
I remember being young and stupid and partying at that time where we didn't care about anything really. And that, like the room, when that circulated, the room just went dark for like the rest of the day.
Yeah. There was no fun to be had.
Oh, man. Tough loss.
Indeed. Well, we will, again, kids, remember, we're just brainstorming for our pop culture podcast eventually, all right? There's going to be a spinoff series. So,
this is like the on deck circle for our real podcast.
Yeah. If you laugh, give us a like and subscribe, would you? Just let us know that you're out there, and we'll judge our future content based on that. But, welcome back to Diggle's Diamonds podcast. It feels like Dave and I literally just did this like 2 days ago, because we did, as I was battling the COVID. We had to push an episode, and so we've got these lined up back to back. So that might be where part of the slap happy comes from, but who knows? Today we are talking about 2028 players that we think are going to break out this spring from the class of 2028. We've each chosen 5. Some of them are ranked, some of them are not. We've tried to get a pretty broad cross section, but again, we're not going to make everybody happy. There are, trust me, way more than 10 quality ball players in the class of 2028 in the state of Illinois. But right now, these are the ones that we've seen that have made an impression upon us, or that we think have a high ceiling. And that's where we're going from here. That doesn't, it could be, these 10 more kids could surpass these 10 kids by next year. It's just the way it goes. And we're also going to talk about future positions. And that is incredibly arbitrary at this point, because most of these guys are two-way guys right now. And most of them are still at that stage in their career where they can, are they going to be a, power hitting first baseman and a left-handed pitcher, or are they just going to be a left-handed pitcher? Are they going to be a shortstop, right-handed pitcher, or just a shortstop? And of course, with the new rules, as we previously discussed, two-way players becoming more and more of a luxury. we'll see where it goes. But at any rate, since Mr. Bentley so kindly gave me first pick in the head of the class recruiting episode, I let him go ahead and name his 5 players first. So how do you want to do this, David? You want to alternate back and forth? You just want to go 5
it's
and
always
5?
Yeah, it gives me a chance to take a drink in between discussions with my Stitch cup, my daughter's Stitch cup.
Thanks, Molly.
Thanks, Malls. Let's start in our hometown region, Metamora Redbirds. Pride history, long history of great baseball, proud pride. Andy Reeb comes to my mind. He was in my class, Peoria
Vince
General
Hines.
Here. Vince Hines, great pitcher, ICC Cougar.
Yep. And later University of Illinois.
Lots of good ball players there. Always hated that doubleheader that Richwoods had to play him every year. It was a tough one. So the guy I want to talk about is a 2-sport phenom, Brady Jones, right-handed pitcher, first baseman, third baseman, small forward for the Hoops squad. Yeah, he's ranked top 15, I believe, in the state for Hoops as well. He runs about 6'6", and he's probably still growing. I heard stories of his Pony League prowess, standing about 6'1", hitting 400-foot bombs. My favorite story that I was told is that in a pretty competitive travel ball game in 8th grade, I believe, Mr. Marchand, friend of mine, Matt Marchand, told me the story that the team he was coaching was up 3 in about the 5th inning. 2 men on, Brady Jones hits a 3-run homer. The guy in front of Brady doesn't touch home plate. The coaches say something, the ump saw it too. They wipe a run off the board. So instead of tying it in a huge game, they're now 1. So it comes to the 7th inning. It's tied up at this point. Brady Jones comes to bat. The one coach wants to walk him. Coach Matt Marchand says, we can't walk him. Like, we kind of did him dirty. We told on him. He didn't get, full credit for that 3-run bomb. And he says, okay, we'll pitch to him. Poof, walk-off homer. He's got some legend behind him. For the Metamora Redbirds last year on varsity, 2.71 ERA in 24 innings. That's pretty good. I don't care how tall you are for a freshman on varsity.
Yeah, especially in the middle Illini.
Yeah, and the middle Illini. With the bat, only about 60, a little over 60 ABs, 4 doubles, 10 ribeyes. He'll get there. Again, keep in mind, this is a 15-year-old on varsity. I don't know what he's going to do. He probably doesn't know what he's going to do as far as college, but he's really good at basketball, Diggle. And I know you know this guy, so I'll let you say a few words if you've got some thoughts on him.
This is actually kind of interesting because it's the second time that this has happened in Metamora in recent memory. A lot of people don't know this, but Ethan Kaiser, who led Metamora to its first state championship in basketball, gosh, how long ago was that? 2021 or 2022 or maybe even 23. Sorry, I don't remember. But Ethan Kaiser was also had that kind of hype behind him as well. He wasn't he'd focused more on basketball, but he showed up at a tryout for the Outlaws back in the day. I think he would have been a 2021, I think, is the way that would work. But anyway, even then he was 6'5", could jump out of the gym, running up to 85 on the mound. He ultimately opted for hoops. Went to the University of South Alabama and just recently transferred to the University of South Dakota, which is great for him. That's great. But that's also my second point is the point of that is a lot of times I think kids miss, an athlete like that misses the opportunity to go to maybe a Power 4 school in baseball versus a mid-major in basketball.
Yep.
So Ethan opted for hoops. Will be interesting to see what Brady does, and ultimately what he does on a baseball field. Is he an arm? Is he does he stick on the dirt? What happens? So, but yeah, he's got a ton of athletic ability and ton of potential. It's going to be really fun to watch for the next 3 years.
Yeah, he's ranked 12th in the state for baseball, and I believe top 20 for his class in hoops as well.
Yeah,
very gifted kid. You love to hear about it coming from our home area, and I'll be getting eyes on him this spring, and I'm sure you will too, Diggs.
Yes, sir. Pardon me.
Your Honor, Your Honor.
You just switch cups? Did you go away from the Stitch cup with Molly?
Yeah, we got the Coke Zero, and then we got a little tea, iced tea. No sugar in that iced tea. Yeah.
I gotcha. Well, the first one I'm going to talk about is a bit of a legacy. The last name will be familiar. I'm going to butcher it. It's Chiarodo, I believe is how it's pronounced.
That's a good guess. I know Diego Solares could spit this out.
Yeah, I almost called
his brother.
Before we went on the air. I was like, how do you pronounce this?
Yes. His brother is at Alabama
yes, Joe
now.
Joe was a 2025 at Edwardsville, committed to Alabama, was just an absolute freak. 100 plus exit velos, 98 from the outfield. I think he was 96 off the bump at his highest in the postseason. Just an all around tooled up dude. And it kind of flew under the radar a little bit last spring, but starting at second base for that same Edwardsville Tigers team was his little brother, Nick Chiarodo.
Yep.
And Nick shows signs of being every bit the player that Joe was down the road. He's got a lot of the same tools. The hit tool is definitely there. The velo, he was already pushing 84 to 86 from the right side this summer. It's kind of eerie to watch it. About the only thing that separates them is the height, and even Joe's not that much bigger. Joe I think was pushing 6 foot, maybe. Little brother might be a couple inches behind, but he'll get there. It's kind of a carbon copy almost. Like Tim Funkhauser shouldn't have any problems figuring out who's hitting three and pitching. He's just going to write the same name for 6 straight years or 7 straight years.
Coaches have to love this when you get the eldest son, and also if you got a little, the softball coach is going to love it. And that the DNA is there. And even if Nick doesn't live up to play SEC ball like brother Joe, he's still going to be nails, and he's still going to go somewhere really nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Funk has to be just loving this.
Yeah.
Like you said, for 6 years, he's, up the middle. Who knows if he moves over to short, maybe next year? Hard to say. He's still very young.
Yeah.
All these guys we're going to talk about.
I think he will. Maybe not this year. I forget who's coming back at shortstop for Edwardsville this year, but I think I'd be shocked if he wasn't there as a junior and senior.
Yep.
Who you got for number 2?
All right. Over my way, Wheaton, Warrenville South, the Tigers, outfielder Caleb Mease. He's coming in at ranked 31. Again, we've talked about this a million times. I think all the guys we talk about could be in what Drew Locascio called that big bowl. And you stir it up, and number 12 could be 20, and number 6 could be 14.
Yes.
Caleb Mease did what the Tigers needed, and that's give Jacob Conover some support. Conover was the Duquesne Conference Player of the Year. I think he ended up with 8 bombs. Really good power hitter. And Caleb, as a freshman, started varsity, all conference, hit 422, 10 doubles, 2 bombs, 11 steals, 28 runs. He had 2 4-hit games and 5 3-hit games as a freshman. It's just so impressive. He's got exit velos over 100. I think PBR got him at 102.
Yep.
A guy dominating. I mean, we had 3 of these guys on, 2 episodes ago. Cannon Baxley, Gavin Hartigan, and our buddy Ryder Renette. He's Duquesne Conference. It's legit. St. Charles North, St. Charles East, Geneva. I don't know. A freshman hits 422 with 10 doubles. This kid's got no ceiling that I see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm excited to take a look at him this spring.
Yeah. Watching this kid's video, there was one thing that stood out to me. This dude's quads are massive. Like if you're wondering where that juice comes from, there it is. Like that is, his kinetic foundation is whoop. Like
he's go ahead.
I was watching his BP round from the state games, and man, it was just like you could literally see like the muscle firing, and just it was, and he gets his swing off, man. He knows what he's looking for, and he hunts it, and he punishes it.
He's got a good size at like 5'11", 190-ish, and that's going to go up. I don't even know. I'm not 100% certain he's turned 16 yet.
Yeah.
The kid is going to be legit.
I'm the football coach at Warrenville South. I'm like, why isn't this kid on the football field? I need a tailback.
I didn't even check. I'm sure he does. All those kids that young usually play, multi-sports.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Of course, when you're chasing Red Grange, it's a little more hard.
Yeah. He's the one guy I'm going to talk about who's under 6'2", but man, he might be 6'2" in a year. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Back to you, sir.
All right. I forget who I wrote down second. My man, Kaeson Ernst. Originally from your neck of the way.
Former Genevan.
Yes. Moved down here to the flatlands of central Illinois to Warrensburg-Latham. If I remember right, I believe Dad took a new job or got transferred with the job. But man, it's an exciting talent. Checks in at 6'4", 175. Just makes everything look really easy. Like doesn't ever look like he's exerting himself, but there goes a ball off the bat at 95, and there's a fastball at 85, and and there's still a little bit of giraffe on roller skates in there too, which just tells you even more that there's more coming.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential there. Currently ranked number 44 in the state. Sorry, they dropped him 47 in the state now after the most recent update. But yeah, super excited to see what this kid does. Going to be interesting at Warrensburg-Latham. Usually, if most people move to that area, they move to Maroa. Not sure about the makeup of Warrensburg-Latham's team around him. There's been some good athletes come out of that school, but I don't know what they have currently. So we'll see if that, if he's got to shoulder that load on his own or if he's got some help. But it'd be fun to watch nonetheless.
Isn't that like a suburb of Decatur, essentially?
It's kind of, yeah. I mean, it's if you know the area, it's kind of the halfway point between like Lincoln and Decatur, but most people associate it with Decatur.
Yeah. Yeah, so. He's we talked to Josh Cowton about him.
Yes.
The potential, especially with the arm, looks sort of unarguable. and
Yes.
we'll see if he's a two-way.
Yeah.
And everybody's a two-way until someone tells you you're not. So,
and there's two guys on my list that are both K's Academy guys, and it's I mean, we've both sung the praises of what Josh does, and it's only going to continue with these two. I mean, you look at that kid right now. I mean, they list him at 175. There's still 40 pounds, maybe 50 pounds of good weight to put on there, just to see what he ends up looking like. And it could be really special.
And who knows if he adds, 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah,
again.
absolutely.
I feel like if I remember, I stopped growing about 16-ish, somewhere around there. Could have been stunted by sneaking a cigarette here and there. Don't do it, kids. Don't do it. But hard to say. But yeah,
could be worse. I think I stopped growing when I was like 12. So,
shall we head to my
gotta find the right
pick?
convenience store if I want to crack 5'8".
As long as you can get on those rides at Expo Garden for the state
I'm not
fair,
really sure I could, but
that's all that matters.
Back to you, good sir.
Back to me. My number 3 guy is Clower out of Providence. 27 win squad. Cole is a 6'2", 180-pound right-handed pitcher for the Celtics. He's bringing 86 cheddar on varsity as a freshman, 21 innings, 23 Ks, 3.85 ERA. Shutout De La Salle, strong outings versus DePaul Prep and state champion St. Lawrence. He didn't go, the full 6 or anything with those, but had strong 3+ inning outings against both. Cole played on PBR's super sophomore squad, who in, I believe, August went down and competed at Ohio State University.
Yes.
This is Pravi just reloading. And I got to say, because the next 2 guys I'm going to talk about.
Shout out to Jake Godfrey, by the way.
Yes. The next 2 guys I'm going to talk about are great arms that played JV last week. However, at Pravi, they felt Cole was good enough to come on up, and he showed him he was. So, tip of the cap to coach for having faith when you could argue they probably didn't need him. They weren't desperate, that's for sure. But
it's nice to have depth, though. You can't underestimate that.
He showed out, and this year he's going to get probably at least close to 30 innings. So, he's an arm, and he's a good arm, and looking forward to seeing him at that awesome stadium they have down there in on the south suburbs for Pravi.
New Lenox,
Illinois.
The scary part about that kid is he's already got an incredible physical build. He's 6'1", 185. Like that's grown man strength right there. And again, there's no, gets to 6'3", 205. Like we're still, there's still a lot there. That's an exciting one for sure. Absolutely. Really liked how he moved on the infield too. Really liked the way he got rid of from a couple different arm slots when he needed to make different throws.
He's an athlete.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Back at you.
Yes, sir. I'm going to take the twin to Mr. Ernst, that being one Ty Bachman out of Normal West. For those of you not familiar, Normal West typically has really, I think they opened in the mid-90s. I think that's right. Really from day one, whether under the guidance of Andy Turner or Chris Hawkins, the Wildcats have been a force to be reckoned with in 4A, or previously Double A.
They used to be Normal Chittix?
No. Chittix is the junior high.
Okay.
So Chittix, so there's Normal Parkside, which feeds into West, and Chittix is now housed in what was that's because they oh shoot, I forget where Chittix is. Anyway, but I think Chittix feeds Community now.
Okay.
So anyway, Bachman, you know, in a program like that, where if you show up at Normal West Stadium, there's literally the entire backstop is filled with all the alumni who have been draft picks. It's really impressive considering, you know, don't get me wrong, it's a city, but it's not the biggest city in the world. You know, there's maybe 50,000 people in Normal or whatever. So for him to step on the field as a freshman, that was a big deal. And Ty more than held his own, especially on the mound. Was basically the Wildcats' number 2 behind another one of my guys, Chase Reinhardt, who is a sophomore, committed to Creighton, and is one of the top, left-handed arms, if not the top left-handed arm in the state. So Chris Hawkins has himself a nice little duo here. Ty just continues to get better and better. Was sitting low 80s last year. Has continued to put on weight, put on work. Just got word that he pulled down 93 the other day in the early stages of the on-ramping over at K's. So I got to imagine, typically, if for those folks not familiar, you can usually take a pitcher's pull down, and if everything is right, again, this is all about the reason people do pull downs. Some of you may remember my feud with who's that jerk that's always on?
Oh man, I remember the feud. I can't remember his name.
I can see his face right now.
Maybe you shut him up. That's why we don't remember him.
No, he's still out there. But it tells you how insignificant he is that I can't remember his name. But anyway, people poo-poo this all the time. What a throwdown or what a pull down does, or run and gun, there's a bunch of different names for it, but roll in. It forces the body to organize itself. And so what we're saying is when you do that, when your body is forced to organize at full speed, this is what your arm can generate. And obviously the momentum of the run or the crow hop or whatever plays a part in that. But you can typically subtract about 6 to 7 miles an hour, and that'll be where their velo is compared to the pull down. So pulling down 93, I think we're going to see a velo jump from Ty this spring. And it's another one of those things where Chris Hawkins can just keep writing, the two to alternate and Reinhardt and Bachman on the conference starts. And he's also got the added benefit of having 2027 Sam McCulley, who we'll probably talk about here in a couple weeks on the show. So behind the plate. So really nice situation for Ty right now. And I think he's only going to get better. The bat plays as well. I think you might need to move to third base eventually, but it's pretty impressive for a freshman doing that at such a storied program. I defer to you.
My next one is we're going to Benet Academy, who I believe finished second place, losing a tough ball game to St. Lawrence. Left-handed pitcher Luke Crowder out of Benet, the Red Wings. I got a good scouting report from Gavin Hardigan.
Friend of the pod, Gavin Hardigan.
Friend of the pod. He said this is a tall, lanky lefty who's been up to 88, tailing fastball, good command, pounds the zone, good spinners, and said, at least right now, the two-way ability is pretty potent. Now, he did not play much on varsity in the spring. Again, 27-win Benet team who finished second. This is normal. This doesn't mean that he's not good. He is very good.
I don't think people understand that. Like what?
Yeah.
Like
Casey Huss played sophomores. All state the next year. Sophomore year, he plays sophomore team. Junior year, he's all state.
Yeah.
It is what it is. He didn't complain.
And people wonder where these kids come from, because you'll see them all the time. It's, well, they were blocked by a kid going to Alabama or the U of I or whatever, and they just didn't have the need.
Yeah. And Crowder's an outfielder, so
yeah,
It's
And
the position where you usually have a fair amount of options.
correct. And especially if you're trying to get the right bats in the lineup. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Just some stats from this summer where I think he had some good competition. He plays for the Hit Dogs up here. He hit 412, 40 hits, 9 extra base hits, 31 ribeyes, and on the bump, 11 innings pitched, 18 Ks, only allowed 6 hits. Again, I think you'll see him on varsity this year. I could be wrong. He might split, but I would think that he would get some time, especially on the mound. I look at him and the next kid I'm going to talk about as, remember that scene in the 1989 Batman when Jack Nicholson turns to the dirty cop and he says, "Hey, Eckhart, think about the future." That's what I think about with Luke Crowder and the next guy I'm going to talk about.
Absolutely. Well, that's true of all these kids. I mean, we really what we ought to do is save this and come back in 3 years and be like, were we right?
We'll remember. Yeah, we'll remember these guys.
Like Sam Kinison and Back to School. Is she right?
Classic
a popular
performance.
thing for a lot of people.
Shout out to East Peoria native Sam Kinison.
You know it, not native. He moved here later, but East Peoria alum, yes.
That's right.
And every time I propose we build a statue of him, it gets shot down.
Because he was risque, or like you don't have the cash? Or both?
Probably both.
I'll donate to that fund.
He wasn't the most clean living gentleman ever.
No.
But if we've got a Richard Pryor statue
I was
downtown
going to say, we got a Pryor statue. This guy set himself on fire accidentally. Anyway, we digress.
Indeed.
You're up. You're number 4 guy.
My number 4 is a gentleman whose family we've already referenced, Dean Marchand out of Dunlap High School. Dunlap just keeps turning out talent. We've talked a lot about a lot of different members of the Eagles, whether we're talking about Davis Weeks now at Michigan State or Landon Gray, Hedda Dolores, Jack Piper at Carroll, on down to the youngest Mechanicu. There's a lot, Ryder Renette. There's a ton of talent there right now. And Dean looks to be kind of the next member of that fraternity. We saw him last year at the PBR showcase at the Louisville Slugger Dome and was pretty firm. As I recall, sat 79-80 and might have touched
I think he was 82, and I think the thing that stuck out to me was his arm slot.
Yes,
real
low,
very, very low, 3/4, almost even, really. And it's got a little funk to it. It's moving. It's helping that ball tail.
Yes,
and it was repeatable too. That was the other thing I noticed. His windup. There wasn't any glitching going on. There wasn't any
very smooth
variance. It was just same thing over and over.
The arm slot helps him throw a nice little sweeper. That was pretty nice, especially when he stayed back and threw it well. He's a little on the smaller side. 5'9", 175 right now, but what's Matt?
He's about 5'11".
Yeah, so he's got a couple inches. So, we'll see. But really exciting. I think he's another one of those kids that has a lot of talent in that class for sure.
He's doing the Josh Cowton Winter Arm Care, and I heard he popped an 85 around Christmas. So
okay, there you go.
Yeah, he's rising up.
All right. Back to you, sir.
I'm going to another lefty, 6'3", my favorite height, favorite position, lefty hurlers. Ranked number 20, Dylan Jones out of a monster Lemont team who had 30 wins last year and mostly played JV. He's about 86 right now. Plays summer with the Sparks. Cangelosi, for those of you who don't know, 24 innings pitched, 2.62 ERA, 38 Ks. That's a lot of Ks per inning. And also on JV,
Yes.
JV last spring, 27 innings, 49 Ks. These are the things that give me the indicator, and that's why I went with Dylan Jones as one of my picks. Is you look at the body, the fact that he's left-handed, no problem. But look at the numbers too, even though it was JV, and look at his summer stats. That is a ton of Ks per inning. And again, you got to project, I think, this season. It could be this season. It could be next season. He's going to pop. And I mean, he's probably going to hit 90 and be just filthy. Really like the kid. I'll be able to check him out. Lemont is not too far away. I had to go with him in my group.
All right, number 5. I am going over to the, I guess, far west side of the state, really, considering a lot of people think Peoria is the west side of the state. But over to Orion High School, a 2A school, young man by the name of Dayne Franks. I stumbled across this young man last year in a regional title game. He got the start for the Chargers against Illinois Valley Central, IVC, based out of Chillicothe. And it was actually a very nice matchup. 2 really good left-handed pitchers. Gabe Perez, who is a 2026 from IVC, I believe ranked in the 90s, according to PBR, headed to Heartland Community College over in Bloomington there. And this young man, I was unfamiliar with this young man when he showed up, and I kept the gun out after the first inning when Gabe was done and said, well, let's see what this kid's got. And it started matching him velo for velo at like 85. It's really nice. He battled. He didn't back down. I think he only gave up 3 hits on the day. And that IVC lineup had, I believe, its first 5 or 6 hitters going to play college baseball. So, I mean, that's a freshman doing that against guys who have been identified as college baseball players.
And he's got my favorite makeup, 6'2", 6'3",
with
room to add muscle, and he's a lefty.
Yep. And, throw just about anything he wanted for a strike. And was just kind of a bulldog. Didn't let the moment phase him. It was anybody's game till they had to pull him. And then IVC managed to tack on 3 runs, and I think they 6-3 winners. But up until that, it was a fight for love and glory between those two. So Dayne Franks is a really, really nice ball player, and I think you're going to see a lot of good stuff out of him from over on the Quad Cities area there.
Okay, that's what I was just going to ask you. What's the closest bigger city? So he's over there.
Kind of,
right on
Orion's one of those places kind of halfway between Galesburg and the Quad Cities.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It's in the Monmouth region of the world.
North, but yeah. So, be interesting to see what his career holds. But if last year's an indication, they're not going to be. Honestly, he really reminded me of the Terronez kid from Sherrard, which is right in the same neighborhood that's at UIC now. Aiden Terronez, who darn near beat Eureka by himself in a sectional. So, but yeah.
Good deal.
There you go, kids. We've enlightened you both culturally and baseball-wise, and we go forth.
Keep in mind, as we prefaced, look, we had, some 3 top 10-ish type players on that are 28s earlier in the season 2. These are our 5 guys. Again, a couple of them aren't ranked, but we don't care. We like them. So it's fun to sort of dig, and that's what we do. Of course, I took the low-hanging fruit with Brady Jones. I stole him from you right out of your backyard to talk about
Get you a low-hanging fruit T-shirt.
It's my favorite thing to do. Caleb Mease also seems very low-hanging fruit with those numbers, but you got to go a little bit lower and look at video and look at the numbers. And if they didn't play varsity, it's okay. When you're playing at a school that got second place in state or won 30 games, you may not see the field. It does not
Yeah.
mean that you're not an outstanding player in your class. And that's why we try to dig a little deeper into the weeds.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was talking with somebody about this the other day. It used to be in the Catholic League, I believe, you couldn't play as varsity as a freshman. I seem to recall when my brother played football at Metamora and they met Joliet Catholic for back-to-back state title games. There was a kid who couldn't play on the varsity as a freshman until the playoffs, and then was suddenly starting at linebacker in the 5A state playoffs as a freshman. Like, hadn't seen the field at all, couldn't see the field. And they were just like, all right, put him in. And I think he ended up going to UCLA, maybe.
Okay.
So, yeah, those were the interesting old days. I'm not by any means advocating for a return to that, but, it just tells you sometimes it's not your fault that you're not up.
Last year we talked a similar episode like this. We talked about Logan Fernandez, and Coach Hury told me directly that, he asked Logan, can you be a leader on the JV team? Because, we could have you on varsity. Yeah, you get 40 at bats, 50, whatever, but we don't need you, and we want you to develop. And that's what he was. He was a leader on JV, and then last year he played varsity and tore it up. Yep. And now he's committed. Don't always look, you young fellas, don't always look ahead to the future. If you're 14, enjoy being 14. 15, enjoy being 15. Because once you get older, you're going to miss all those years. So just try to be in the present and enjoy where you're at now. And whether that's JV or varsity as a freshman, whatever, make the best of it.
I believe it was the pop punk band The Ataris who said being grown up isn't half as fun as growing up.
We'll take that as most obscure quote of season 2. I love it. I do like that band name a lot.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, folks, we thank you for joining us, and we will be back again next week. Are we talking about 2027s on the next episode?
According to your itinerary, 27s, ladies and gentlemen. All you 27s out there, we could be talking about you. Tune in.
Indeed. Have a good one, folks.
Sayonara.